it had to be hidden for thousands of years at least, and then come back when they thought people were ready to use crystals again. All our silicone wafer chips in our cell phones, computers, and everything, iPads, even cars, are made from quartz, silicone crystal quartz. And they are grown from, we can't mimic nature. We have to start out with a natural tiny seed crystal. And then they now artificially grow these to make all of our computer chips. And the weird part about this is that the same company, the Dutch East Indian Trade Company, that actually caused all these slave trades, or was behind all this, and was behind the enslavement of people in Africa and South Africa, where they had this class system. They were exploiting the mines. They were exploiting as many mines as they could for retrieving gemstones, which is like Elon Musk. Actually, his dad was actually a gemstone miner in South Africa. His father, I mentioned, he didn't just work in an emerald mine, he owned an emerald mine. And so I don't trust Elon Musk at all. He's doing a lot of dark magic with crystals, and he has a higher consciousness about this crystal usage that people are kept in the dark about, and that's not good for us. That's beside the point. I'm piecing this together. I don't have all the answers, but I am kind of getting at the fact that everyone should know about crystals. They should know the the various uses of crystals, not just one aspect. All I know is that it opened up my whole consciousness to our computer age, because I studied computer science when I was younger, and I might get back into the field, but there is a lot of spirituality behind the computer crystal age that we live in. I almost think that people don't want people to know this, because there's only certain people in power that think they deserve to have this knowledge, and that everybody should be kept in the dark, which is where this idea of don't use crystals in religions comes from. It's like, oh, that's a form of satanic witchcraft and it opens you up to the devil. Well, if you have a cell phone or a computer right now, you are using crystals. So if you're going to be using crystals, you better know how to use them, because you're already using them. So even Catholic priests, they don't want people to use crystals, but they're using crystals. They're wearing amethyst rings. The kings are wearing crowns with jewels on them because it amplifies consciousness, but they don't fully know how to use this technology, and we're still learning. So the people that made these rules are actually using crystals on people and don't want people to know how they work so that they can manipulate and control us more. And so that's the only reason to keep all this knowledge held back. There is a lot of legends of Atlantis being destroyed at least 3 times from improper use of crystals, and so there is a warning. Hey, you can't go too far down this path because crystals have the ability to amplify states of consciousness, and so if you only amplify one state of consciousness, it can throw off the entire Earth grid. It can even destroy our Earth, and so I can see why people might be like, hey, we don't want that knowledge. It had to be hidden for thousands of years at least.
I awoke, and in my waking state, I saw the tree of life. I saw this. I saw this shape. It appeared as, if you want to call it dream or a vision, it stood in front of my mind's eye, and it remained that way for minutes, not just a fraction of a second. No words, nothing, but just the image of this. I knew nothing about the Kabbalah and had no intimation or training on that. I then proceeded to cut and go to the laboratory where we had the glass shop, and for 1 year it took me to cut and grind a crystal like this. You see the similarity? Ratio, proportions, and the life. What came out of this after 10, 11 years of careful study is a crystal cut to this shape and proportion resonates vibrates at the same rate as water.
And then you have another scientist, Marcus Vogel, which a lot of these people people think that the hippie age and the computer age are separate things, and like you either have one route or the other. But the geniuses behind all this technology we're using knew both aspects. They were aware of mystical uses of crystals, and they were also aware of the logical and programmable uses of crystals. A lot of the people that developed this technology, that were actually developing computers before we had the computer programmers, were even friends of Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, and that had a lot of stuff to say about these ancient Atlantean technologies. A lot of people developing this technology were not either scientists or hippies, they were both. In order to use these amplified states of consciousness, you have to have both. You need both hemispheres of your brain. It would be so stupid to say you don't need one hemisphere of your brain. So why are people saying we don't need the female mind? The female mind needs to be integrated into our technology before we destroy ourselves. And it will be probably. And like Mark Zimmerman and Bill Gates, like they only knew like the patriarchal use of crystals, the logical, like computer programming side of crystal technology. This really bothers me because I'm left-handed, but I use my right hand a lot more. I train myself to because I had scoliosis leading to my left. But people say the left-handed path is evil and the right-handed path is good, and they refer to this in the Bible, and that's kind of like the patriarchy, like the logical. The right-handed path is your left brain. So basically, all the people are saying, "Oh, the right-handed path," are basically saying, "Okay, well, we only want your left brain to dominate everything," which is your black, white, and gray, and your masculine side of your brain. And they refer to left-handedness, which is, they don't realize when people refer to left-handedness as being evil or deviant, they're actually putting women down by doing that, because the left-handed side connects you more to your feminine brain. So they are putting the feminine mind down when they do that, and that's all it is the creativity, the color, which the downside to that is chaos, too much chaos. But the downside to the masculine side of your brain is too much authoritarian control, too much slavery. So you need both. You need chaos reordered. So you need this hemisphere to be creative and learn all the variables and plug it in a structured way. And so crystals aren't masculine or feminine. I mean, they're part of the earth, and I don't believe the earth is masculine or feminine, just like I don't believe the sun is masculine or feminine. They have masculine and feminine qualities, and anybody who uses something that amplifies dimensions and into octaves and higher has to know that if you amplify it too much in only one direction, whether it's left or right, which is why the only straight path is the right and left-handed path combined.